Making an episode of a live-action show is a lot like baking a pie. To make a good one requires equal parts hard work, time, and love. If you succeed, you'll create something great to be enjoyed by everyone. But if you are missing even one of the key ingredients,
you will fail, and it will burn,
leaving a lingering scent. My name is Pie Guy Rules, and I'm here at the bottom of the bakery to smell that pie. Metaphorically speaking, of course. In reality, I'm here to talk to you guys about an episode of a Schneider's Bakery show that was really not good. Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and it's been a while since I talked about Sam and Cat, so, yeah, let's pick an episode at random, shall we? How about this one? Hashtag Fresno Girl. What's a Fresno Girl? Honestly, I had no idea going into this episode. However, I soon found out that just like hashtag MyPoober, a Fresno Girl is this show's version of an expensive collectible doll, something along the lines of the American Girl dolls. Let's not waste any time, let's just get right down to business here, and I'm gonna give you the plot synopsis. Some lady drops off her kid to Sam and Cat, and apparently they know her. The lady says that this girl has to get a good grade on her test, or else she's gonna have to do summer school. Man, I'm getting flashbacks to MyPoober already. What is it with these parents trying to dump their kids' problems onto Sam and Cat? The girl doesn't have much faith in herself, but Sam and Cat say that if she gets a good grade, then they'll buy her this doll that she wants. Do we see Sam and Cat actually help her study in any way, or help her out? Nah, next scene she's already got the grade back, and it turns out she got an A. So Sam and Cat have to go to this doll store, and it turns out that the Fresno Girls are a line of expensive girl dolls. And the doll that the little girl wants is a few $100s. So Sam and Cat have to work really hard or figure out some sort of way to get this money, right? No, they actually just had the money. So they pay it, even though they kind of grumble about it, and then they all go home. Due to a mishap with a squirrel and a wiener cannon, Sam and Cat accidentally shoot the little girl's doll, and her leg falls off. The doll's leg, not the girl's leg. So Sam and Cat have to figure out some way to fix this doll for this poor little girl, right? Well, actually, they just take the doll back to the store. Okay, that problem's solved. But surprise of all surprises, the place charges a lot to fix the doll. So Sam feeds all the employees of this store Cat's fudge piles, and then goes behind the counter onto the loudspeaker and says, "Hey, everything is free, take what you want." And then all the girls and everyone in the store run around and steal stuff while the employees just flail their arms around. So Sam, Cat, and the girl go back home again, and it turns out that the girl actually failed her test and lied about getting an A. So to punish the girl and to dovetail the subplot, which I'll get to in a moment, they force her to go on a date with the kid that's constantly saying, "I'm Randy." Meanwhile, in the B plot that ironically has way more story than the A plot, Cub Scouts harass and assault a mentally challenged man, while the laugh track just goes nuts. But seriously, Goomer loses his t-shirt, puts up posters around saying, "Looking for Timmy T," which is what he calls his shirt, which offers a reward of a free trip to Hawaii. The Cub Scouts think they're actually looking for Goomer, and then assault him when he doesn't give them the free trip to Hawaii. This episode is like a steaming pile of fudge. The first problem here is a problem that I've touched on before in these shows, and it's the leisurely pace that this stupid plot takes. Seriously, all the conflicts up until the 16-minute mark are solved with no effort whatsoever. Kids gotta study hard for a math test? Whatever, that'll happen off screen. They gotta buy this expensive Fresno Girl doll? They got the money to do it anyway. How are they gonna fix this doll? Oh, okay, just go back to the store. And then finally, 16 minutes in when something actually does happen in the episode, it's over in a flash. I have problems with what Sam does to this store, but first and foremost is the fact that what actually happens is just, well, too fast. I mean, at least some sort of action happens in the episode, outside of the subplot, of course. But it's just, hand the people that work at the store these fudge piles, go on the loudspeaker, get in the wheelchair, and run out of the store. The whole thing takes little over a minute, and this is the big climax of this non-story. The story is just so light here, and every conflict is just solved instantaneously. That does not make for a good story. Stories involve trials and tribulations, and the characters actually having to work hard for something. You could have made a whole episode out of Sam and Cat opening up their own doll store in order to raise enough money to fulfill their promise to this girl and buy her a real Fresno Girl doll. You could have made the story about how Sam upsets the store clerk when they buy the Fresno Girl doll, so that when they have to go back to get the thing fixed, they have to find a way to sneak around him to get to the place where the doll is fixed. Honestly, with good enough writing, you could have made the whole story been about this girl trying to just get a good grade, and Sam and Cat trying unusual, unorthodox methods in order to teach this little girl math. But this just kind of meandering about that the story does, oh, it drives me nuts. A lot of these shows do it, and it just has no respect for the viewer's time or for the fact that good shows have good pacing and have good, concrete, big conflicts instead of just a string of small, very easy to solve problems. Now let's get on to the treatment of the Fresno doll place. Okay, so if you watch any of these shows, then you know that a common recurring element is that there is an authority figure who is unreasonable or jerky or whatever, and the protagonists have to do something to put them in their place. It could be a teacher, it could be a store clerk, it could be the doorman at your building, but someone talks down or belittles or acts jerky or horrible to the main characters, and then the main characters do something to get back at them. I guess the people who make these shows got really tired of doing this plot, and instead of actually doing something, I don't know, different, they decided to just be very, very lazy with this one. So the authority figure here is the guy that works at the Fresno girl shop. He clearly has a passion for Fresno dolls, and he treats the little girl who's shopping for one pretty nicely. Yeah, he's a little bit snooty, but he's really not that mean here. In fact, Sam is kinda rude to him, calling him the wrong name and making fun of his eloquent nature. Really, if they wanted to sell me on the fact that this place is a bad place or the people that work there are bad people or something, you kinda have to hammer the point home a lot harder than him just being mildly rude to the girls. Now, if you look at the government guy from #BlueDogSoda, his problem is the opposite. He's too jerkish and over the top and horrible and intentionally a villain. And that's one extreme. But if you look at this episode, you get the other extreme where the guy just doesn't go anywhere near far enough to deserve the big punishment that Sam doles out on him and his store later on. And that's the thing. If you're gonna have Sam completely mess up these people's business and blatantly steal and encourage others to steal thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, you kinda have to show me, the audience member, why the people that work at that store are horrible, horrible people, or why the company in general is horrible. Really, outside of the guy being mildly snobby, the only other reason given for why this place deserves the Sam treatment is because it's expensive. But here's the thing, it's entirely Sam and Kat's own fault that they're in this situation. First of all, they should have figured out what this doll was and found out how much it was going to be before they even agreed to buy the doll. And then they should have learned their lesson, and when they took it back to get the doll fixed, they should have gotten the price ahead of time. And if they didn't want to pay it, it looks like the doll's leg just popped out. Put a bunch of duct tape over it and then hide it under the doll's dress, and it should probably be fine. If you think their pricing is outrageous, you shouldn't have gone to them. But here's the thing. Honestly, I don't think the pricing was even that crazy. I mean, okay, yes, hundreds of dollars just to fix the doll's leg seems to be a bit much, but in terms of the doll itself, the whole point of the Fresno Girl dolls, or at least their real-life counterparts in the American Girl dolls and other doll lines like it, is that they are high-quality collector dolls. It's a collector's market. The whole point is that they are expensive. Between this and I Date a Bad Boy, I'm really beginning to think that someone behind the scenes of these shows really does not like dolls or stuffed animals or Beanie Babies or anything of the collectible variety. Now, if this guy had charged Sam and Cat like $1,000 for the doll, oh, certainly, that would definitely be way too far. But like, $300 for the doll and all the clothes and the accessories, that's really not that much, if you consider that it's a high-quality collector doll. I'm no doll expert, but even I understand that. It's like someone on the writing team had a daughter, and their daughter wanted one of these expensive dolls, and they looked at it and were like, oh, $200 for a doll, that is ridiculous. I'm gonna roast them on my hit tween sitcom. And really, when you think about Sam's actions, all it punishes are the people that work at the store. They're gonna have to talk to management as to why they lost all this stock. And surely it's not the people at the store that are setting the prices for these things. Why doesn't Sam take it up with the corporate bigwigs? But nah, the place deserves to get stolen from because someone was a little rude to Sam Puckett, who was too stupid to even look at any sort of pricing chart before she just went ahead and accepted services. Honestly, if they wanted to sell me on this idea of Sam getting back at this company, I would need to see more than just the one guy at the store being slightly rude to her and the pricing being outrageous. Maybe if they had shown that the Fresno Girl dolls used a bunch of really manipulative advertising to try and persuade kids into buying these dolls instead of just regular priced average dolls. Or maybe if they had shown that the Fresno Girl dolls were made shoddily or something. Yes, the doll's leg pops off, but that's only after Sam shoots it with a high pressure wiener cannon. Or heck, what if this Fresno Girl doll company used sweatshops and child labor? Oh wait, Sam would actually approve of that technique, wouldn't she? But that's a topic for another time. Oh, and this is a minor thing, but Sam's whole plan is to stuff all the people that work there's mouths with Kat's fudge piles, right? Which makes it so they can't talk to tell the people that Sam's sudden flash everything is free sale is a total lie. And that makes sense, but why does it prevent the security guard from doing his job? We see this guy and all he does is flail around running back and forth as people run out of the store with stolen items. He can't just, I don't know, close the doors and lock them, or stand in front of them, or do anything that a security guard would actually do in this scenario? What, because his mouth is incapacitated, suddenly he can't do his job at all? On another minor note, there's a gag in this episode where when the guy is showing off the Fresno Girl dolls, there's one doll that has a really round stomach and chubby cheeks. The camera shows it and then shows Sam's not amused face, and the laugh track goes crazy, but honestly I'm kind of scratching my head. Is this supposed to be a joke because the doll is fat, or the doll is pregnant? Or is it that the doll looks like Dora the Explorer? And on another smaller note, there's this very long gag where Dice is choking on one of Kat's fudge piles and nobody helps him. They just kinda watch him choke in the corner until eventually Goomer comes out and is the only one to actually care enough to try and help this choking kid. What's worse is that the mother of the girl they're babysitting is there watching this. You would seriously let them watch your kid when they've got another kid that's just choking in their kitchen? I know it's a gag, but come on. And for a gag, it just goes on for a long time. If you find a character choking for like 2 minutes straight to be funny, then, well, this is your episode. And then let's talk about the ending. This sudden twist that, oh, she didn't actually do well on her test and instead got a D. I think it's supposed to be like this big shock twist, but in reality, because the episode is such a yawn fest overall, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm glad things were even more pointless than I thought they were. And then there's the subplot, which is just, it starts off really stupid, and then at the end it tries to make us feel sympathetic for Randy, who spends the whole episode running around chasing Goomer, trying to jump on him. He threatens Sam and Kat that if he doesn't get his free trip to Hawaii, they're never gonna see Goomer again, and then says that his birthday is coming up, and that he wants a date. So Sam and Kat basically tell the little girl that if she wants to keep her Fresno Girl doll, even though she lied to them, she has to go on a date with this Randy kid. Even though she doesn't really like him. Because that's apparently a win-win for everyone. So she has to go on a date she doesn't want to go on, and Randy has to go on a date where the girl is clearly not interested. Sam and Kat dropped a few $100 on a snotty girl who lied about passing her test. But no, this is a win for everyone. Oh, and guess where Goomer's t-shirt was that he spent the entire episode looking for? Take a wild guess. Just the most wild of guesses. I'm not even gonna tell you. You know what? You'll just have to go with whatever your imagination tells you, because I promise you, if you think like someone who is not very good at writing a story, you'll guess where the stupid character had his t-shirt the whole time. Here's a hint. He spends the entire episode wearing a few layers of clothing. Oh, and to make it extra stupid, he has a few different costumes in this episode, and yet nobody realized exactly where the shirt was hiding. Okay. So, the A story is incredibly boring and just meanders about, and includes punishment to a company that really has done nothing at all wrong other than cater to the collector market, and a B story that, honestly, it's so stupid. Oh look, the fudge pile is about done. Wow, somehow they made it look even less appetizing. Now it's a smushed pile of stuff. This is honestly another episode that just feels like it's the first draft. Maybe if they didn't try to crank 40 of these episodes out in one season, the show wouldn't have come out like this. But this is what happens when you spread yourself too thin. You end up with one big pile of mush. No substance, just mush. Bye Guy Rules, out.